Welcome back. Now, as one of the things we've been ignoring so far, the fact is that when you call a C++ program without really realizing it, you actually call it with two special variables. The first one, I don't know why this is capitalizing this, but there we go, that's nice, is an integer called ARGC. I need to declare it as an integer. And that is the number of parameters that the program is taking, and we always send at least one parameter in. So argc is an integer which is always going to be at least 1, and that first value will be the name of the program that we've called. Now my program is called Hello World still. So argc will be 1, and then another parameter comes in. Now again, you just have to trust me because this is a few lessons away yet before we really get into this. But this is going to be a special pointer to an array called argv. Now this is varying arguments. Now there'll always be at least one element in here. Now we'll just do a little bit of semantics on an array. If you think of a variable as being an orange, then an array is a bag of oranges. Now some oranges, like the struct I did last time, have segments within them. So if we take a look at our struct that we did last time, what we got there. So let's just take a look at the, oh, shouldn't have done that. Let's move that back over there. So I've got various things hiding behind the background here. Where is, oh yes, I need to just go to my, view my navigator. Show project navigator, super. If we take a look at my struct I did earlier, this is a variable, it's an orange type, description of an orange. It's got 7 segments inside it. Now most oranges, like an integer, plain integer there, just have one orange segment inside them, in this case an integer. Now a bag of oranges is going to be an array, which is fantastic. Anyway, we don't need to see that again, so let's wind that over there. So this argv is a varying number of arguments in a big stringy bag of oranges. This is a pointer to that bag of oranges. This is like an arrow on the aisle in a supermarket saying this is where the bag of oranges is, and if you follow this this arrow, then you'll get to the bag of oranges, and inside this bag of oranges there'll be some variables. Now there'll always be at least one orange in the bag. There's the orange bag there. This is the label on the side of the bag. And there'll always be at least one orange in there, and that will be the name of the program, which will always be the first argument. Just to prove that to you, let's just print that out now. So without sending any parameters to the program, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say what argc is. Oop, there we go. Oh, wrong thing. And we'll say what argc is, and this should come back as 1, and it should be the name of the program. So end line. Now here's another special thing about arrays. They start with a numbering convention. Now it doesn't start with 1. That's not the first orange in the bag. That's not the second orange in the bag. That's not the third orange in the bag. The first orange in the bag is labelled with a 0. And then the next orange in the bag is labelled with a 1. So 2 oranges in the bag, 0, 1. 3 oranges in the bag, 0, 1, 3. So there's the first orange, there's the second orange, there's the third orange. Now if this sounds a bit odd, I want you to think of an English hotel. In an English hotel, the ground floor is the 0th floor, the first floor is the floor above it. So a hotel with a first floor has 2 floors, a ground floor and a first floor. And if you get room 211, that'll be on the 2nd floor. That'll be on the 3rd floor of the building. Now I know in America we have the first floor is the ground floor often, but think of European hotels. We have the ground floor, the 0th floor, the first floor, and the 2nd floor. So if I want this first argument, what I need to do in this bag of oranges, I want the first orange out, I'm going to have to do this. So what we'll do is we'll say, okay, argv, and I'm going to go for the 0th element. Now, ARGC is going to be 1. We're going to say there's 1 orange in the bag, but I need to find out what that is. I need to go to the 0th element. So this is saying there's 1 floor in the hotel. So I'm going to go to the ground floor and have a look and see what it is. So let's just do that now. So what I'll do is I'll go ARGV 0th element, the ground floor, the first orange in the bag. And we'll see what we get. Okay. So let's have a run of that then. I just need to bring this bottom bit up. Can I bring the bottom bit up? Oh, some stuff there. Let's just run this. See if I've compiled it correctly. There we go. Now, there we are. We can see that ARGC is 1. So there is 1 orange in the bag. And so it's saying there is a ground floor. And on the ground floor, there is a string, and it's the full name of the program. There we go. Now what we can do is, to see that better, we can go to my X window here. We can run the program again directly from that directory. So if I run it with no arguments, I've got 1 argument coming in, which is the name of the program, and then there's the string. The string is the first element of that big bag of oranges is a string, and inside that orange is the string hello world. Just 1 argument. Now what I can do just to, I just need to just go through these variables. There we are. What I could do is I could give the program some variables on the command line. Sorry, notice I entered 100, 1 and 1 there, and that gave us that output. Now we're not going to get to that output from these variables right now, but if I give this thing 3 arguments, ARGC says 4, which is the name of the program's 1, 100 is 2, 1 is 3, and that's the 4th element. Getting in towards being a Bruce Willis film now, aren't we? I'm still entering the values because we're going to do that in the next lesson. Take them off the command line and not bother entering those values as the program executes. Just try that again. Let's add some more. Let's get for a Bruce Willis element. There we are. Should get the 5th element. There we are. So now we've got the 5th element. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we can now hire Bruce Willis. Now it's not doing anything in the program at the moment, but let's not worry too much about that. Okay, so I'll just enter some dummy values here and get a very small loan, $100 at 1% for 1 year. Lovely. Okay, let's go back to the main program. Here we are. Now when we run it from the main program, it's actually it's saying that I'm executing this particular hello world executable, and here's where it lives, and that's all in 1 long string, which is a string held inside an orange. This is the orange bag, and we're saying give us the first orange, give us the ground floor orange in this array of oranges, in this bag of oranges. How many oranges are in the bag? There's 1 orange in the bag. So the count, the argument count, and the varying arguments held as strings. Now let's get to a second thing I'd like to do. I'd like to enter 100, 1 and 1 on the command line. What I can do, actually, the special thing I can do is, if I on Xcode, it'll be different for your development system, but if I go to product edit scheme, I can put those arguments onto the command line here. So I can say add an argument 100, add another argument 1, add another argument 1. We can change those later if we want to. So now when I execute the program, still running in the background, you can now see that I do have 4 elements. Name of the program, 100, 1 and 1. Now what I'd like to do is print those particular arguments out. So I'm going to introduce a new structure. It's called a for structure. Now I like while loops because while loops give us flexibility. This is a for loop. And in a for loop we go through a fixed number of times. I'm going to say this. I'm going to have an integer. I'm going to call it I. This is okay conventionally, I think, to call it I. A nice simple number there. And I'm going to say set this integer up when we start to be equal to 0. The ground floor reference. I shouldn't use the word reference. The ground floor accessing key, hotel key. So it's a hotel key to the ground floor. Now, as I is less than argc, so while it's less than, in this case, 4, go into this for loop once. And then once you've gone into it once, I want you to add one on to the I variable. So this integer's got a very simple name called I. If you have a second one, they typically call it J. There we go. So go to the ground floor to start with. That's the initializing condition. And then do some stuff. Then add one on. And as long as the new I with one added on is still less than equal to 4, then run it again. Then set it to 2 and run it again. Then set it to 3 and run it again. And so we go into this while loop. And I've just got time, I think, just to print out what we've got here. So I am going to do ARGV. Now I'm going to say which one I'm at. I'm going to say I. And I'm going to wrap that inside a little bit of jiggery-pokery. And then I'm going to actually output argvi. The first time round it will print the program name when I is 0. The next time round it will print out the first parameter, then the second parameter, then the third parameter, and then we'll turn that to say 4. So 0, 1, 2, 3, and then we'll add one on to make it 4. Then is 4 less than 4? No, it isn't. Don't do it again. Drop out and do the rest of the program. So hopefully this will produce something that means something. So let's just run this now. Run the program. I've got to stop one. I didn't finish off that other one, did I, earlier? Build succeeded. Look, nice. So let's bring this up a bit. Let's not put the first. Actually, what we'll do is we'll just get rid of that. That's superfluous now. And we'll run the program again. There we go. So we've got 4 arguments coming in. The ground floor argument is this string, which is the program name. The first floor, or the second orange in the bag, is an integer equal to 100. The third integer in the thing in the bag is a thing with value of 1. And the fourth element in the bag on the third floor is 1. Super. And I think that that's probably enough. We're going to take those values in the next lesson and not have to bother doing all of this every single time, because I'm getting tired of doing that now. So what we'll do is take those elements next time. Now here's another thing. All 4 of those elements, the program name, the 100, the 1 and the 1, are all strings, and I need to turn them into numbers, and we'll be doing that in the next lesson. Okay, thank you, and I will be back.